going on, Jerome's? So Dalton Risner is finally a Minnesota Viking. Had his first official practice today on Wednesday. I'll also talk to the local media jackals. Now, it was a scrum interview. I thought that since this is kind of a big deal that they would have him at the dish, but for a formal press conference, didn't turn out to be the case, but is what it is. We got relayed some tidbits from the local media jackals. Also, Kevin O'Connell's hat game has been on point this year, man. Absolutely. He's got so many hats that some aren't even in the team store. It's kind of crazy, man. But we also need to talk about Kirk just staring into our souls. Just like, I don't know, man. Those baby blues are just like tractor beams. Like he's like Cyclops from X-Men, just like right now. Also, I love the Madison I Am Gifted hat. Shout out to Deuce. But going through some of these pressers, Alec Lewis, the Athletic. Dalton, come on up for the Risner. Dalton Risner just talked to media members. He was jacked up. He was on one. Said he was going on a visit Monday night to sign with another team. Vikings swooped in beforehand. Now, again, it would have been nice if this is an official presser because this feels like an inside joke. Inside jokes. I can't wait to be a part of one someday. Dan Musitani, Pioneer Press. Dalton Risner just chatted with reporters at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill. Very entertaining back and forth. He was open and honest about the process that led him to Minnesota. No question he's motivated to prove himself. And it did seem like the whole, go in and put in the work and blah, blah, blah. Happy to be here, all that stuff. I'm sure that's what it is. But, we still haven't got the answer to what's going on. Like Kevin O'Connell alluded to something medical during the summer. What was it? Was it money? What was it? Why was Dalton Risner, who obviously is at least an above-average guard in the National Football League and it would definitely be in demand, like how come he wasn't on the team the first 2 weeks of the season? Just it really doesn't make sense. Also, Risner touched on his free agency prospects. Gessling, go. Risner said he'd heard from 16 different teams during his free agency. Like, how many were NFL and how many were XFL? He had a visit scheduled with another team on Monday and had planned to sign there, but the Vikings moved to get the deal done. Now, could he be padding the number a little bit? Maybe, but I don't know. It's like, I feel like there was extremely little steam in terms of teams interested in Dalton Risner. And it's so weird, too, because every single named free agent, there's always reports, these 4 teams are interested, And there wasn't really any steam of him being tied to another team or him visiting. It's just very odd, but it really doesn't matter. If he comes in and kicks ass, that's really all that matters. Kevin O'Connell, Ben Gessling, Star Tribune. Kevin O'Connell said the Vikings are working to get Dalton Risner up to speed as quickly as possible. While he didn't put timelines on when Risner could be ready, given how much the offensive line he has to learn, how much the offense he has to learn, he said there will be competition in the group. And competition, that's all I've been asking for, man. And the Vikings offensive line is in a little bit of flux right now. TBD if Bradbury practices today. TBD if Darrisaw practices today and in what capacity, and if they'll be ready to go on Sunday. Quisenberry possibly could be in it. Left tackle again, he played pretty well. Schlutman could be in for Bradbury at center. Risner just could be the catch-all backup for now. But O'Connell did also mention about getting your best 5 out there, and Dalton Risner 100% would be part of the best 5. And I think the whole competition comment really threw the gauntlet down for Ezra Cleveland and Ed Ingram, especially Ed, because Dalton Risner can play all 5 spots, and he is going to find his way onto the field, and he will improve this offensive line. And in terms of getting him up to speed, yes, it is learning a new scheme, but I think the familiarity with Chris Cooper, Riscotti, and Curtis Modkins certainly will help because broad strokes wise, it's going to be a lot of similar concepts to what he handled in Denver, a different verbiage, of course, as well as getting used to new teammates around him. That is going to be the deciding factor there, but I think it's going to be a spot where Risner is probably active on Sunday, probably not starting, but I think that he'll be starting very soon. If not this week, a week forward at Carolina, or at minimum against the Chiefs, he's very familiar with, of course, very familiar with Chris Jones in 2 weeks. And KOC also addressed why it was important to bring in a guy like Risner right now. He said this, quote, looking at a running game, what we've done, what we clearly can do better from that group up front, I want them to be the driving force of success. Head coach Kevin O'Connell on the O-line group, adding Dalton Risner. And Yeah, the Vikings dead last in the league right now in terms of rushing production. Part of that is game script, and part of that is on Madison. Part of that is on Ty Chandler, but also a big part of it is on the offensive line, where Madison is only getting 2.2 yards per carry before contact. Madison is being hit behind the line, or Chandler's being hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it's just not good right now. And you have to get a push. And if guys aren't performing, whether it's because of injuries and backups are in, or they just can't get it done, Risner's going to be a kick in the pants and hopefully move things forward. Then, again, I can't take it. Again, he's just staring into my soul, man. I don't know. But Kirk Cousins said this, quote, "I will always say among many traits, the trait that might be the best is his fearlessness." Talk about Justin Jefferson. He catches the ball and people are all around him. Quarterback Kirk Cousins on number of opportunities for catches for wide receiver Justin Jefferson. And that's what's really underrated too. JJ isn't Mike Evans. He isn't Julio Jones. He's a 6'1" and super sleek, just around 200-pound receiver, and he is still one of the best contested catches receivers in the game. And that comes down to his timing, his eye-hand coordination, his body control, his competitiveness, his strength, given his size. Like he's up there, and he's super feisty. It's not like he's completely wide open on every single time. Like sometimes he fights for that ball, as evidenced by the Bills catch from last year. And that's what's really beautiful about Justin Jefferson's game. And then wrapping it up, the logo. Ooh, that's got to be his nickname, right? Jerry West can kick rocks. Actually, I love Jerry West. Quote, "We got a lot ahead of us. We're looking forward to this weekend. We got sour taste in our mouth. It's nice to get that first one. Once you get that first one, they start rolling. They hating." Hawkinson on Philly. Looking ahead to this weekend against the Chargers. And that's the whole thing, too, where when you start out on the schneid, just getting that first win under your belt is extremely important, just for getting the monkey out the back, getting confidence going, and then you can just play ball again. Because if there's a streak going on, that does have weight. And the Vikings simply could not start out 0-3. You're at home. You got a Chargers team that's similarly 0-2. There's going to be a super entertaining back-and-forth game. It's going to be like turf basketball, and Hawkinson's right, but I think that the Vikings will come away with the victory. You know why? Because otherwise Kirk is just going to stare at Justin Herbert and Brandon Staley and all that stuff. Right. But overall, Risner sounds super fired up. Some of the beat writers alluded to, like, this is Alex Boone 2.0. Hopefully he plays a lot better than Alex Boone. No big deal. And Kevin O'Connell, I think he's hedging his bets, but also he hedged his bets quite a bit when the Vikings traded for Hawkinson, and Week 9 he was a full part of the game plan. So I wouldn't be shocked if O'Connell's trying to play this one close to the vest. But, is there a chance that Risner just flat out starts Week 1 on Sunday? Yes, I think there's a chance, but I think it's a larger percentage chance that Risner is active, is the emergency backup for now, but he's going to get into the mix sooner rather than later, because he didn't spend $4 million for a backup, man. That's all. That's it. Let's take a look at some of the Vikings pressers from today. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo, but next time, Skol, production value.